Welcome to the Upside Podcast, where we help you get unstuck by helping you elevate your thinking and provoking meaningful change from the inside out. I'm your host, Theresa Flood. Let's get started. So today's episode is about a topic that I have experienced more than one time in my life. And I believe you have probably experienced it more than one time in your life as well. And maybe you are experiencing it right now, or maybe you're in that place where you can feel it coming on. What am I talking about? The dreaded burnout. Yes, if you are a top achiever, a high producer, you have encountered times where you are just over it. You are done. You are burned out. You're ready to quit. You're ready to throw in the towel and just be done with it. And a lot of times we think we're tired. We think the reason that we're burned out is because we've been working really, really hard and we're fatigued. And I agree, sometimes that is the case. Sometimes it's actually physical exhaustion. But what I have found is more times than not, it is actually because of some other reasons that we're experiencing burnout. And if we start to feel that coming on, we can actually adjust our thinking. We can adjust our strategies ahead of time to keep us from getting into that place. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I have 5 things and 5 questions that you can ask yourself if you are either feeling burned out or you feel like you're about, like when you feel the cold coming on, you feel like you're about to get sick. Okay. So the first one is this is the question. Am I focusing on intensity over consistency? And, this one to me is maybe the number one of all of the ones. Because what we do a lot of times as high achievers is we say, I am going to go all in on this goal. And we just put pedal to the metal and we lay everything out there and we go intense. And we burn out. And then we take our foot totally off the gas. And then when it's time to start again, we have nothing left in the tank. And I am just such a believer that all success happens because of consistency over time. There are very few magic moments, if you will. It's really about the consistent little things that we do every single day. It's the small incremental steps. It's the little habits that build up over time. And why are they so powerful? It's because consistency is what creates momentum, not intensity. So momentum is where things are fun. If you have been in momentum or you are in momentum right now in your business, you love it. It's an amazing place to be. Everything just happens faster. Everything comes a little easier. You become an attractor. Momentum is a beautiful thing. It's hard to get and it's really, really easy to lose. How do we lose it? We stop being consistent. We take our foot off the gas. And a lot of times that's because we were just pedal to the metal as opposed to small incremental steps. Maybe you're going all in on health and nutrition. And so you're cutting calories, you're lifting weights, you're going 110 miles an hour and you keep it up for a month and then you're exhausted. As opposed to just saying over time, I'm going to make these incremental changes that are going to build up, and that consistency is what creates the magic. If you think about a train, I love this example of momentum. If you think about a train that's at a dead stop, you could put a brick or a boulder in front of that train and you could gas it and it's probably not going to get past that brick. But if you have a train that's in momentum, you could literally power that thing through a brick wall and it wouldn't miss a beat. Why? Because it's in momentum. And when we're in momentum, we're much, much less likely to burn out. So number one, are you focusing on are you focusing on intensity over consistency? The second question to ask yourself is, am I choosing comfort over growth? Sometimes I think we're burned out or we think we're burned out. We're actually just bored. We've been doing the same old thing for a long time and we're not being challenged anymore. And we're actually just bored. It's really hard to be burned out when you're learning something new. Choosing it to play it safe causes you to get stuck. And so maybe it's time that you challenge yourself in a new way. Maybe it's time that you decide to do things a little bit different, to learn a new skill, to learn a new way of thinking, to push yourself past your comfort zone. And that might be exactly the remedy you need for burnout. The third question to ask is, am I caught up in the drama drain, or am I focused on investing in people? And if you are a leader, I think this is one of the number one reasons that leaders burn out, is that they get caught up in the drama, or they get caught up in the dramatic people. If you are in sales and customer service, you know that those clients that can just suck the living life out of you, if you will, and it's easy to burn out when we're dealing with people that are takers and not givers. And as a leader, it is so important that we get intentional about our time being spent investing in the people that want to grow with us, investing in the people that see our value. If you are running a business, who is the ideal client that loves the services that you provide? And are we spending time just being with the people that are never gonna be happy, that we're never going to satisfy or please, or are we focused on impact, on making a difference? One of the things with burnout is that is easy just to get kind of in the minutia. And if we will start focusing on the impact that we can make in other people's lives, it's going to shift our energy. Okay, number 4. Are you stuck in the weeds, or are you building the vision? Are you stuck in the weeds, or are you building the vision? So vision in and of itself brings energy. It brings energy. There's a Bible verse that says, without vision, people perish. Vision is energizing. It's energizing to your organization, and it's energizing to you. And when we get stuck in the weeds and we forget about the vision that we're building, it easily causes us to burn out, right? You think about just the word burnout, right? It's like fizzling down, no energy. And the 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle, I'm sure you know this and have heard it before. It's basically just saying that 80% of our activities give us 20% of our results, and 20% of our activities give us 80% of our results, meaning everything we do is not equally important. Everything we do doesn't matter in the same way. And why will we burn out if we get caught in our, quote, 80% activities? Because they're not going to produce the results that we need. And I don't know about you, but when I'm not getting results, when I don't feel like I'm winning, when I don't feel like I'm succeeding, that's not one of the number one reasons that I start to feel burned out. And so if we start to focus on the things that will actually move the needle, meaning those 20% activities, that's going to keep our energy strong. It's the vision for why we're doing what we're doing. So get clear on your priorities and get committed to making them a priority. The reason we don't do this is one of two things. It's either a clarity issue or a commitment issue. So get clear on the priorities of what you need to be doing to fulfill your vision, get committed to making them a priority, and then learn to leverage the rest. And the number 5 question to ask yourself, am I just, quote, trying harder, or am I being strategic? Sometimes when I start to feel burned out, I get into the just doer mode of I'm going to put my head down. I'm just going to try harder. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to just try to push past this. Stop. Like, just stop for a second. Take a deep breath. Evaluate and start to think strategically. Using the creative side of your brain will actually create energy. Even if don't consider yourself a creative person, I promise, stop for a minute. Go sit outside with a cup of coffee and a blank journal. Go to a coffee shop. One of my favorite things to do is sit in a coffee shop with my computer and just open up a blank page that has nothing on it, that I can start thinking strategically about whatever it is that I am trying to accomplish. Ask the question, is this the best that it can be done? Not, is this the best that we've ever done it, but is this the best that this particular challenge can be done? And then start thinking intentionally and strategically around it, and it will bring energy to you. What are you doing that you're winning in that you need to do more of? If something is winning and working in your life, in your business, do more of that. But that's going to keep your energy high and cause you from burning out. So don't be discouraged. Burning out does not mean you're failing. Learn to identify it before it starts. Or when you start feeling it, learn to ask those 5 questions to get yourself back on track so that you can pivot. Focus on consistency over intensity. Focus on pursuing growth instead of being comfortable. Don't let yourself get bored. Learn something new. Don't get bogged down in the drama. Focus on investing in people, making an impact. Don't be busy in the weeds. Instead, focus on building the vision. And instead of trying harder, become more intentional and more strategic. I hope that will help you today. I just want to encourage you. You've got this, and you have everything it takes. Go out there and be successful. So thank you for joining me today on the Upside Podcast. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with somebody that it would encourage. And remember, when you invest in your growth every single day, it will yield you great returns in your life and in your business. I'm Theresa Flood, and this was the Upside Podcast.